Hey yo, what is going on guys? CashinClean here, and for today's video I wanted to talk about the mods that I use for Trove. I've been getting requested to do this video for a long time now. I've done 2 videos of this in the past, so if you want to check those out you can. The only issue about me doing this is that mods do get outdated, so the ones that I currently have might not work like a week from now or a month from now. Even a year from now if you're watching this from like the future. So that's like one of the reasons why I can't just give you all of my mods, but I can show you the ones that I use. And if you use Steam, you can go to the Steam workshop area and you can find the mods there if you just type in the name. I use Trove mod tools. The only issue with that is that mods don't get updated instantly like they do on Steam, but it's pretty easy to get mods on there. You just install the mod that you want, it goes instantly to your game. You don't have to worry about finding the right folder it goes to. Some mods do require a .cfg file, so you'll have to locate that. My last video does talk about that, so if you want to check that out you can. It goes over where to find your CFG files, what needs to go in there, and how to properly name those. And I'll leave a link to that video and the link to getting Trove mod tools. And then if you have Steam, obviously you can just go to Steam and go to the Steam workshop. So I'll link that in the description so you can check that out if you want to see like where to find all of these things. So going over my mods, I'm going to scroll down through all of them, and then after that I'm going to go through each one and just talk about if you need it or not. One thing I will mention is that the IU mods are no longer available, so you can't download them. So the moment they get outdated, then they're just outdated. You can't use them anymore. They are amazing mods, but the mod maker is no longer playing Trove, and they took down all of their mods. So in all due respect, I'm just not going to link those, but if you want to check out my previous video, I think I have some of them on there and you can probably find them from other people. So going through my mods, you can kind of just pause it whenever you need to or slow it down. I'm just going to go through all of my mods here. I'll go kind of slowly. I do have a lot, and I will be talking about which ones you should probably get and like ones if you want to get or not. It's up to you. There's a lot of mods in here, so there's a lot to talk about here. Alright, so that's all of them. Now let's go to the top and we'll talk about the important ones. So starting things off, this one's pretty good because it'll lock your Crystal 4 gear. If you don't have a mod like this in general for the loot collector, I think the default locks your stellar if I'm not mistaken, so it's kind of annoying if you're just trying to farm efficiently because you're just gonna have a bunch of things in your inventory and you can't really get rid of them. This only keeps the important stuff, so I would highly recommend this mod. I have a crosshair mod. If you want to use that you can. The default I didn't really like too much. This is for Bunfest, so you don't really need that. This one gets rid of the VFX for your pyro disc, so it's kind of handy to have. This is really good for gems and it makes your UI a little bit more cool looking, and it's only for this chart and not really for your inventory, but pretty cool one to have. I would highly recommend this one because it's really good for gems as well because it locks them. If we go over to the gems area, you can level them up to a certain point. It's really good. I highly recommend that one. I'm going to skip through the IU ones because we can't really get those anymore, and once they're outdated, they're outdated. Going over to this one, this just makes your UI look a little bit more cool looking. I just like it because it's in dark themed, so that's pretty cool. Better invites is pretty cool because you can auto accept or auto decline. I think that's what it does. I can't remember if this is the one that works for delves as well, where it's just like auto teleports you to the boss room. This is just optional, just a cool looking sky clock if you want to like in-game clock, I guess. I don't know why I did this one. The gems I guess look a little bit different. I could go back to the green one, but I don't know. I just went with this one. Crafting color, this is just another cool one. Makes this stand out a little bit more if you have it or not in your collections. But this is optional. I only had this on to farm Radiant Giants, but I don't do that, so I guess this is optional if you want to farm those. This is optional. I only had this for Shadow Towers back in the day. I just never removed it. This is for Gunslinger. You can use this if you want to. Just makes this VFX less extreme, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Not really like a necessary thing. Same with this one, but it's up to you. I kind of like this one, so I have the one for Neon Ninja. This one I would kind of recommend because you can tell which color goes to which thing. Like Stellar is yellow, Radiant is white over there, so pretty easy to tell in that case. You don't really need this one anymore. We don't really fight Daughter of the Moon, I guess, apart from delves, but not really a necessary thing to have anymore. This one I do recommend if you're farming Geode caves. You can easily spot the critter that you have to care for, and yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty good one to have. I recommend that one. This is also a good one if you go to a club that has an ally habitat. I haven't really talked about this in any of my videos. I might in the future, but basically this tells you if there's an ally in there with the green arrow, so you can easily claim your ally. Next is the egg finder. I do recommend this one because you can tell if there's an egg nearby, it like glows, so this one's a good one to have. This one is outdated, but the cool thing about this is that it made the level bar look a little bit cooler, but I think this conflicts with other stuff, so I disabled it. I don't think it's updated anymore. We got easy to see biomes. I do recommend this because you can actually see the biome that you're at a little bit more clearly. as you can see here, removes the haze and the fog. Mod manager here, if you want to get that, you can. I don't know if it's the same one for what we have here. I think it's this one, but I think this is a different one. I can't completely remember. We got the small mini map. This is very handy if you're farming because you can see part of your screen. I think there's another mod. I don't have it right now, but it basically keeps your mini map on the screen while you farm, and you can have it at like a specific spot. I don't remember the name of that, but there is a thing for that if you want to get that. But basically, once you start moving, then this map will disappear, but it's kind of handy to have like a smaller one on the side. This one I would recommend you to get because you can see what you're watering, so that's pretty cool for gardening. Okay, this is the one for mod settings. The other one was something else, but this one you should get. You can configure everything that you want to for your mods in here, so this is really cool. I think you need a CFG for this one, so if you find the mod, it'll probably let you know in the description, so check that out for the mod. This one's just something cool to have the leaderboards look a little bit nicer. So the thing about this one is that if we go to like the Glim Collected, for example, the people that are up here wouldn't show before, but now they do. I think after a certain number value, the numbers just wouldn't show. At least I think that's what this mod does, but basically this fixes that so you can actually see what's happening on the leaderboards. I actually never really understood this one. I had this from day one, and I've just always used this one. I don't know what disabling this really does, so you can get this if you want to. I've never disabled it. So next we got the open box history. This is really good for opening boxes because it opens things quickly, which is good. And on top of that, you can kind of see on the side what you opened and how many of them. So this is a really good one to have. Highly recommend it. This one's optional. It just shows you if there's an invader. There's like a little beam, I guess. This one I would recommend. You can actually see your classes like a lot more neatly, and you can organize them by level, power rank, and stuff like that. This is the same thing as the leaderboards that I had previously. I just like the way the other one looked, so I disabled this one. This one I would recommend because it shows you how many fishes are in that pool, and if the number is, I think, 4 or less, there's a good chance that that is a rare pool. Like you can only catch rare fish from that, nothing else. Or it might be a troll. I kind of wish they kind of color coded it if that's even possible. I'm not really a mod maker, so I don't know if it's possible. But basically, if you go out in the water or wherever you can fish, you'll see numbers. You can fish in that, and yeah, pretty handy to have. Because I think if you don't have this, it's going to be extremely difficult to tell if there's a fish pool around that area. So it's just harder to fish in general. But yeah, get this mod, really good. This one is outdated, I believe, so I disabled it. This one is kind of optional. You don't really need this anymore, but it gets rid of the VFX for the poison clouds, if anyone even remembers that. It doesn't really get rid of it, but it just reduces it. This one's outdated, so I've removed it. Unless it is updated, I actually have no idea. And if you do get the mods that I do, so I don't know why, but my marketplace mod doesn't work. There's probably something conflicting with it. I can't really, if I type in bones, for example, nothing pops up. And if I just don't search anything, nothing comes up either. So I have something conflicting with this. I can't use my marketplace. I have no idea what it is. I'll have to do a little trial and error to see which one of my mods are conflicting with this. Unless this got updated, but I kind of doubt it. I don't really know. Anyway, moving on. So we got, I think this one was for a event, so you don't really need this one until that event comes around. I'm sure it'll be talked about in like club discords and stuff like that, or in game, but this isn't really that important. This one isn't that important either, but if you're missing monoliths kind of often, for delves that is, then you can probably get this one. It has like a giant pink cube around the monolith, so you can't really miss it. This chat mod is pretty cool because you can actually see emotes. The chat actually looks cleaner, and you can find emotes with if you click on this guy. All you have to do is just press enter. You can type stuff. Makes it look a lot more cleaner, I would say. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You can get this if you want to. You can see the club tags if you want to. There's an option to unlike worlds if you really want to do that. Kind of optional. This one was for shadow towers. You don't really need to do this for gunslinger. I just never took it off, so I kind of just have it there. So these two are pretty similar. This is just the bomb replaced with the pokeball and then the master ball. So as you can see, my bomb is replaced by a pokeball, and then if I go to my big bombs, that's what the master ball is going to be. But yeah, apart from that, that is going to be all of my mods. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have a question about something, drop it down in the comments down below. I'll be sure to answer that for you. And on that note, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing, and I will talk to you all later.
Get me